1-800-CALL-LEE on two.
Call Lee.
No, it's call 1-800-CALL-LEE.
Call Lee.
1-800.
Call Lee.
Call Lee.
Call Lee.
Call Lee.
Call Lee.
Hey Siri, call Lee.
Call Lee.
Alexa, call Lee.
Who's Alexa?
Injured in an accident or slip and fall? Call 1-800-CALL-LEE. You focus on getting better. We'll take care of the rest.
Everybody calls Lee at 1-800-CALL-LEE.
Hello, Lee. Perfect.
Good morning, Delray Beach. We are here at the incredible CRA-owned Arts Warehouse, which I'm a little biased. This is my home away from home where my studio is. And for those of you that haven't been, what are you waiting for? Right? Get here.
They have a lot of events here. I mean, you come in and see a lot of different artwork, even upstairs, because the workspace, you can talk about the different artists that they do have also.
Oh, it's amazing. And there is constantly new art. There is constantly exhibitions and events. And you can rent the space for events and workshops and things too. But what I love is it is such a great central space for the community. Did you know the commission holds their meetings here now?
I didn't know that at all.
Yes. So not only can you see art, you can meet your city officials, and the building is owned by the CRA, who is doing such an incredible job of just creating so many different amazing spaces here in Delray.
I remember when this building was just an eyesore.
Yes,
I mean,
it was a dilapidated
Yes, you had a lot
junker.
of vagrants living over here in this building, but they came in and turned this into a real nice work of art. I mean, a nice work of art.
It really is.
See how it's like a work of art.
It is like,
You're supposed to catch that.
that was your dad joke of the day. Jamel's dad joke of the day. But it is really a work of art, and just coming in here is so inspiring. The artists in here are so inspiring. The events in here are so inspiring. And today, we're talking all about inspiration. So should we bring on our first
I think
guest?
we should. We're talking about the artists in here. Let's bring one over more.
So first we have Dana Donady, who is an incredibly talented artist. Yes. Hi, Dana.
Welcome.
I love your shirt.
Thank you.
So Dana and I have a studio diagonal from each other. So I am spoiled because I get to see your work on the regular now that you're in here. And you are restoring Observations, which is the incredible mural that was on the Delray Beach camera shop.
Yes, I am.
And I have to say, like, when they said, oh, there's someone coming in, they're going to be working on a mural. I'm like, okay, what's this going to be? You don't know. Oh my gosh.
No, when you walk into her studio and you see everything that's happening and everything that's on the wall, you're wowed.
You are unbelievably talented.
Thank you.
And not only and as you have your book, which we made her bring on, because it is unbelievable, just her ability to mix like abstract and realistic things, that's hard. Like, most people can't do one or the other, and somehow you make both look easy.
That I do.
You do. And so, can you tell us a little bit about what your project is here, how this all came to be, because I think it's really fascinating. And then, for those of you who haven't been here yet, First Friday is this Friday from 6 to 9, so you need to show up and check out her work because it is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you. So I'm restoring the mural that was on the camera shop that was originally commissioned in 2007.
Okay.
And since then, obviously progress and development, and the building has been sold. So Pineapple Grove Board, who originally commissioned the mural, contacted me to discuss relocating it.
Amazing.
And I gave them a proposal for what really needed to happen because the mural was 14 years old. It did need a little attention. And so here we are in the Arts Warehouse. I'm doing an artist in residence program and restoring the mural here, thanks to the support of the CRA, who really saw just how important it was to take this little piece of the community identity and maintain it and put it back out there for the community.
Absolutely.
And I say this for a lot of people like myself who don't understand how she's taking a mural off of an existing building and putting it on another building. Now, she's not erasing or putting kerosene.
Scraping it off.
Scraping
She's
it
not
off.
scraping.
I just figured this out myself. There's these little plaques or whatever
they're
that
panels.
these
So what
tiles
are
are panels.
What are your panels
They're
made of?
panels. They're called Dibond panels, and each panel is 4 foot by 10 foot. And they're basically sort of a PVC aluminum type of sandwich So anytime you see like a large sign out there, they're typically used by sign writers, they're impervious to water, they're indestructible. That's what the mural has been painted on. That's
amazing.
And it was painted on that originally for two reasons. One is we were putting a mural on private property. So how do we do that and still own that mural? And the other one was they knew that one day, through development and progress, that this day was coming. They wanted to be able to remove the mural, so the forethought was there in the beginning that this could potentially happen.
You know what it reminds me of? You ever ride by a gas station and it's one price and then you come back and it's another price, but you never see that guy go and change that price. You never see that, but it just
You
changes.
never see it. I was like, where are we going here? I was like, what's this
It's exactly like
yes,
that.
correct. It
And
is.
behind the scenes, really
Yeah.
like quick,
Well, it's-
fancy footwork.
It's true, because one day the mural was there, and I didn't realize that that's what was moving in here. And I walked by and I was like, wait, where'd it go? Because it was such a joy in Pineapple Grove when you drive down the street to be able to see this beautiful piece that you created. And now it's gonna have a new home, which makes me so happy, because it's like, did someone paint over that? Like, I was enraged for you. And here we are, and I get to look at it all the time. And then it gets to be brought back to life. And I think the process is so interesting. And one thing that you mentioned to us when we were upstairs, because Jamel got to see it today, is your floor. I just want you to talk about this, because I think this is the coolest thing I've ever heard as to what happens with your floor.
Okay, so before I get to my floor, I'll just give you a little backstory.
Okay, perfect.
So if I tell you about, because the mural is maybe one type of art that I do,
Right.
but my own personal work, I'm really interested in what makes us who we are. I'm interested in identity. So in my current body of work, I'm exploring these personal geographies that are created through a process that privileges imagination and play. I create these creatures
They're so cool.
that are both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. And those creatures live in that uncertain space between childhood and adulthood. And it's that uncertain space that I'm really interested in, that I find intriguing, because I think it's that space that can reveal parts of who we are. So that's conceptually what's behind the work.
Okay.
Now, the process that I just glossed over a little, I'm engaging in that process here because I am going to be giving workshops here. So
Ooh, that's
part of-
exciting. So wait, really quick, I want to interrupt you really quick, Dana. So what are your workshops? Because I'm sure people who come in, they're going to be blown away by your work. It's a given. So they want to learn from you. So how can all of us come and learn from you and
I
be able
just
to take
wanted
your
to say
workshop?
happy birthday.
Oh,
and I'm
thank you.
blown away by you on the daily with the cuteness.
You're so kind. Thank you, Dana.
Okay, so the workshops. One is not necessarily workshop, but is that the general public, because this is a community project, they are invited to come in. I'm here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday between 10 to 4, and they can come in and view the process and get a little more context for the project.
So cool.
We invite people of all ages to come and see it. One of the workshops will be kids coming in, and they'll have the opportunity to sit, maybe have a conversation and do some drawing from the mural.
Oh, very cool.
Another little project we're working on is that originally when the mural was done, I worked in a warehouse, and then the mural went out onto the building, and the parts that were done on the building, the community was there to see that. And people would come by. These sort of the ornithologist contingent in the community was very vocal about wanting maybe a photograph they had taken of a bird to be in the mural.
She put that very delicately, I'm sure.
Well, I didn't know that was really, and it is obviously the camera shop and these people using the camera shop, and so I got to know different parts of the community.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do here is have that same thing, and maybe there are either children, more of the ornithologist contingent, or other people who maybe have a photograph or an idea for something they would like to see in the mural. So while we're restoring it, we might add some additional elements to it. And it would be nice if the community was part of that the way that
That's
they
really
were
cool.
originally.
No, I agree. So it was something, and she skipped over it. And so when you're painting and you're doing it, you make a mess on the floor. There's paint everywhere.
I'm getting to that mess.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
let's
We
let
want to
her
make sure we
get to her
talk
mess.
about the mess. It's a beautiful mess, by the way.
So-
It's not a
so
mess. When I
think
paint, it
that
doesn't
was-
look like
I've
that.
never seen anything like it before in
Right.
my life. So I
So-
want you to talk
We're
about
very
it. So-
excited.
All right,
Clearly, Dana.
back to the mess. Before I told you about my artwork and that there was a creative process
Yes.
that I employ that really privileges imagination. And so what I do is I lay canvases on the ground underneath the work that is on the wall. So you have the wall work and the canvases on the floor. And that process really came about a few years ago with me just noticing, am I not up straight enough?
No, it's
You just
myself.
went
I
up
feel
straight.
myself slouching. I was like, I'm slouching over.
That
I'm trying to sit up
process
straight.
just came about from me noticing myself and how I am as a painter, and really what builds up on the floor became very interesting to
Yes.
me. And it went all the way back to childhood, you know, with my father saying things to us like, waste not, want not, right?
Right.
And I would look at what was on the floor and I wouldn't want to waste it. And I came up with a process of how to capture it. And that was the canvases on the floor. And then I used to photograph that, and on the computer, I would find little creatures.
So cool.
And I just thought to myself, do that out loud,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Get out of the computer. And so I'll show you a
Here they are.
photograph that's in the book.
So cool.
And this photograph just really demonstrates the
I
process.
love it.
Where you get to see, there's the canvas on the
Yeah.
wall, and then we have the one on the floor where everything is building up. So, like I said, when the one on the wall is done, this one goes
So
up,
cool.
and that's where all the creatures live. A really basic idea of that is maybe what we all do when we look at clouds.
100%.
We all see creatures.
Yep.
Or some of us do.
Yeah.
And I'll just show you one completed painting, so when I talk about the creatures,
Oh,
you
wow.
know maybe what I'm talking about.
That is so cool.
So these
So
all
can
came
people
from...
buy these pieces? How do they go about acquiring your art? Because I know there's a lot of art collectors out there that are going to be watching and so excited about this and maybe want a piece of history, since this is as you're restoring this mural. Where can they find your work?
They can contact myself.
Okay.
Or my agent is in New York.
Perfect.
All the information is on my website.
Okay.
Which is danadonatifineart.com. It's all on there. So how this process relates to a workshop I'm going to be giving here. Interestingly enough, there is a word for that process.
Ooh.
Okay, so when I was developing my process, I didn't know there was a word for it. I just thought, well, it's something we all do. And then through a lot of research, it turns out that the word is pareidolia. Okay, so pareidolia is what we all do when we respond to random stimuli. We tend to see creatures or objects.
That's my whole life.
Yeah.
I look at cracks on the floor and I'm like, oh, that looks like a.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's my son in a car while we're riding.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Daddy, look, that's a clown.
So it's your brain. It's your, you know, or it can be pigs chasing a pirate ship in the
Right.
sky. You know, it's your brain looking for order. And
cool.
pareidolia is actually really closely linked to Rorschach.
Right.
Interesting.
So I'm going to give a workshop which is all about pareidolia. I'm going to give a little history of it, how it's linked to Rorschach and some other points in history. Because when I first was using the process, I had no idea that there was art historical references for it. So in the workshop, you're going to learn about that.
Very cool.
And then the canvases that you saw upstairs on the floor, those are going to be used in the workshop. We're going to go through the history of it, we're going to talk about it, and then give people the opportunity to actually engage in it with those canvases.
Wonderful. What a cool event.
And it's a process that people can use with painting, they can use it with photography, with sculpture. Although I'm going to be showing them how I use the process with painting, it's really, like I said, it can be used in any medium.
Yeah.
I think that
awesome.
is great. I think that is great. So this Friday,
From 6 to 9 is Art Walk. So all of the studios and of course the galleries here will be open to the public. You can come on in, get to see your work in person, which is so cool. And I really, really challenge all of you to come because it is just such an incredible piece of Delray Beach history. And she's right here painting it.
Yes.
I mean, how often do you get to see art of that scale made right here in front of you? So thank you, Dana.
Can I just tell you, just that
Yeah,
much? The actual mural originally, I think it's interesting at the point in time where we are that the mural is coming to be restored because it sort of goes back to the original concept for the mural. And that was to introduce this slice of nature into an urban area.
So cool.
Right, so to introduce that natural world, which is based on Loxahatchee Wildlife Preserve, while all of this development and progress is going on, it was to introduce an alternate view of what progress looks like.
So cool.
And we come now to where they knew they would be, that the building has been bought, and
Yeah.
they're gonna relocate it
To their new space.
to the new space. Yeah.
So cool.
wow, that is nice. That is nice. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Dana. Can't wait to see
And I
your
hope to not
progress.
fall over.
You won't. You got this. Thank
You know what
you.
that reminds me of? It was two things.
Yeah.
So the art, when she was just talking about bringing their environment into
Yes.
the cityscape, the Highwaymen. You know, the different type of artwork that we do.
Oh, that was such a cool
Yes,
exhibition.
yes.
And I bought a couple pieces that we have in our house, and oh, just so cool.
Well, then the second thing, she just gave me a diagnosis for my son. But
Yeah.
I think he has extreme that word she
That
said.
word.
Because the thing is because we'll ride in the car and he'll see these clouds, but it's not like, Dad, that's an alligator. No, Dad, do you see that guy? He's arguing with this thing and this other thing is chasing him. Like there's
Yeah.
a whole conversation
That's so
that he's,
cool.
so I don't know what it is. But
Great
yeah, That's a
imagination.
diagnosis.
I love it.
Extreme
I love it.
Yep.
That's the new way that we're going to call that here on Delray Beach.
Yes.
Okay, well, speaking of artists, we're going to a different form of art, written word, and we have Erica Obando, who is a good friend of mine, unbelievably talented, beautiful human being, as pretty on the inside as she is on the outside, and we are talking about your book. It is Without a Voice, A Woman's Journey to Resilience, and wow, I was lucky enough to meet Erica, how many years ago now? Quite a few.
Yeah, at least
quite a
7,
few.
6.
And we kept running into each other. We do a lot of similar things with speaking and trying to connect with other women, especially. And so we kept finding each other. And I was like, this is somebody I need in my life. And I am so thankful that I've had Erica in my life because your story is so beautiful. And I think it's the perfect example of you never know anyone's story.
Correct. Oh my God, is that
Right?
a statement? Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your book. And for those of you, I'm going to say it like 3 times, and Jamel's going to say it a 4th time. We are doing her first ever book signing this Friday here at the Arts Warehouse from 6 to 9 in my studio. I am lucky enough to have the honor of her first book signing, first of many. But her book came out during COVID, so it made it a little tricky. But so I want to just talk a little bit about you, your story, all of it. I know we only have a couple minutes,
Yeah, I know.
but everyone needs to hear this.
Well, thank you for having me. It's funny that you say we only have a few minutes. That's how it all started. I come from a story. This is the book, Without a Voice, The Woman's Journey
beautiful.
to Resiliency. And I was selected to speak on TED Talk about my story. And they told me, they said, you have 20 minutes to tell your whole story. I'm like, I'm Colombian. I mean, how am I supposed to do
So
this?
that actually
Like,
means 40 for me, right?
Right. But I condensed it to 20 minutes. I shared my story, just bullet points. I was smuggled into this country from Colombia when I was 5. And I was deported back to Colombia when I was 8, and then I came here through the Mexican border, and that's kind of where my story starts. Fast forward to today, I now use those lessons and those experiences to help empower people through their challenges, through their hardships, because you're a victim when you accept to be a victim. And then, so I help people through that. But my story is based off of my TED Talk, which is When Breaking Points Lead to Empowerment, and it's the whole story of my life. But not necessarily just my life, it's what did I do with what happened to me.
Right.
And so the book
Right.
came about because everybody's like, listen, I know you had 20 minutes, but I need to know more.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like watching a
Yes.
series that you're hooked.
Yes.
So the book is soup to nuts, everything from A to C, so.
So if I take a look at this book, if I read this book, what's something that you expect me to walk away with knowing about yourself?
Oh, so much, DML.
Yeah,
so
there's
many
a lot
nuggets.
of it, but if I had to really narrow it down, there's forgiveness of self, which I think is important. It's also healing, because we carry so many rocks in our back, right? We're like, oh my God, I'm supposed to hate, I'm supposed to be, pissed off that this happened. No, I mean, it's about changing your mindset of what happens to you. I have every excuse, every reason to become
Yes.
a victim, to
Yes.
say, poor me.
Yes.
But I chose not to, because I thought if I changed the way I looked at the things I went through, maybe my life changes, the famous way Dr. Wayne Dyer said it best. And that's what I applied to my life. So that's the point of the book. We all have a story. You come from a story, you come from a story, so do I. It doesn't make it any easier or worse.
Right.
It's just, what do you do with what you've lived through that makes the difference at the end of it. So I give the tools of what I did apply to my life in my book.
I like that. That's,
I mean, it really, like, when Erica had said she was writing a book, obviously I was like, I cannot wait to pick this up, because after hearing snippets of her story, both personal and professionally, from when you spoke at, haven't had my coffee yet, spoke at different events, it's just really unbelievably incredible just what you've gone through. And exactly what you said is, you made a choice, you made a conscious choice, a difficult choice, to find those little, what I refer to as glimmers of sunshine. And you are a huge ray of sunshine. And I think a lot of times too, what I took away from this also is, you never know anybody's story. You make an assumption and somebody looks at you and you're gorgeous and you're put together and they say, oh, she's always had it easy. Look at her.
Right.
No, you don't know somebody's story until you walk in their shoes. And I want to point out on the cover, because so I had the honor of getting to style Erica for the cover, and there was some symbolism in here with the shoes on the cover that I really want to point out, because I thought it was so impressive and empowering, just the attention to detail too that you put into this. So can you just tell everybody a little bit about what is your story with your shoes? And you will always see her in her on-brand pink shoes, and it's really wonderful. And here, I'm just going to show the book again. Sorry, I snatched it from you.
No.
But yeah, so here is what I'm talking about on the cover. So you see she's wearing these really worn-in, cool, comfy, a little bit edgy boots, and then she's dropping these beautiful pink heels. So what is the symbolism behind that?
Well, I think you nailed it. It's about, you never know what the story is behind the person you're talking to, right? And so I always say, treat people with compassion.
Yes.
You don't know. If they're having a bad day, it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
It may be something that's cooking in their head that they haven't really worked through. So to me, it's important to walk through talk to people and handle people with compassion. The story behind the I won't give too much away, because it's actually
is a big part of
inside.
your- yeah,
It's
it is a
a
big part of
huge
your
big part. But the purple shoes is huge part of my life. Something happened to me while I was wearing, as a young girl, while I was wearing purple shoes. And
Read about it in the book.
Yes. It's somewhere in there. But it changed my life for the negative. But then, as I grew up, I had to, again, do the work and walk into that power.
Yes.
It wasn't a negative. So I owned my story and walked into my purple shoes. And ironically, I used purple shoes when I did my TED Talk, because it was kind of like that healing process. And everybody asks me about the combat boots. Don't let the facade or the.
She's a tough cookie.
I am the biggest tomboy you'll find. I ended up buying a Jeep at one point with my son. We built it together. We went mudding together. I mean, that's who I am.
That's who she is.
So whoever knows me knows that
Yep.
I'm just a big tomboy.
Yeah.
In heels.
Yes, exactly. So I just want to, we're going to say, remember I promised you, I'm saying it 3 times, so you sing it 4. When can people come and meet you? Because you want to meet her. You want to buy a copy for everyone you know online also, but you want to meet her in person, get this book signed, and get to hear a little bit more about her story, and just soak in all that positive energy. You cannot leave the day after spending time with Erica and not feeling inspired, empowered, and just excited about life. So when can they come meet you, and what are we doing here at the Arts Warehouse? We're going to say it 4 times.
On a very special day, this Friday, August 6th, on Amanda Perna's birthday. She's just going to slide right through that. But no, we will be celebrating this lovely woman's anniversary of life, and she's just so gracious to have me be part of that and do a book signing in her studio here at the Arts Warehouse.
Well, when we were talking about doing a book signing, and I was like, oh, let's do the art walk because there's people coming, and then I was like, how about the first Friday? And I wasn't thinking because I wasn't looking at a calendar, and it happened to be my birthday, which normally I actually do take that one day a year off. But I was like, what? I can't think of a better way to celebrate than having you in here sharing that story this Friday, 6 to 9 at the Arts Warehouse, not Arts Garage, Arts Warehouse, right on the train tracks, 2-story colorful building. It's a hidden gem to some of you. It shouldn't be hidden. It's amazing. And so wait, that was 3 times I said it. Okay, Jamel, so what are we doing on Friday?
So listen, let me tell you, baby. Get your pens, get your pads ready. It's going down August 6th at the Arts Warehouse, baby. Book signing by Miss Erica Obando. Going down, and it's Amanda Prince's birthday, baby.
So we will have I know, right? He's the best. He's the best. That's why he had to do one, because way more interesting coming from him than me. So is there anything else that you really want people to know about you, your book? Please give your website also. And you also, wait, I forgot. We just blew over something very important. There are a million other things you do as well. We talked about your TED Talk, but some other ways that people can engage you, because you've been doing something new and exciting that I think a lot of people could benefit from.
So in this whole writing my book process, it was a healing process for me. Unexpectedly, it was a really nice side effect. I healed through the process of writing this book, and then it really tugged at my heart. Am I really working? That's one of my taglines. Am I really working to build this resume that I'm supposed to build, or am I working to leave a legacy? And when I asked myself that question, I had to make some changes. And so I left corporate world at the beginning of this year after releasing this book, and I kind of let the universe tell me where I was supposed to go.
That's a leap of faith.
It is.
To leave your really great, cushy job to follow your passion.
Yeah. Well, it's not even so much my passion. It is my passion, but it's my calling of service, right? How can I help? At the end of the day, when someone's going to be reading my eulogy, nobody's going to pull out my resume and say, well, she did this, right? They're going to say,
I don't know. If I'm there, I'm going to make sure all those points are included in there, but you're right.
No, I mean, look, to me, I want somebody to say without any notes, this is how she impacted me. This is what I took away from meeting her or being, working with her. So in that sentiment, I decided to ask the world, okay, what is it that you need from me? And the answer was, I did a lot of inner child healing work for myself through all the traumas that I lived through. And I wanted to give that toolbox to the people that I meet. And so I just kind of took a leap of faith and did transformational mentorship, which is transforming your adult issues into healing components of your life, because I am a very big believer that all of your adult issues are just unchecked boxes from your childhood. And so if we go back and reparent and help you check those boxes off, voila, you're a great human being, an adult.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing. Is there something that you can really, because I was reading the back of your book and they talk about the empowerment, and you've said a lot of things that's going to stick with me, but we want you to empower our viewers today. Leave them with a message. Give them something to walk away from watching this show. Yes. What is it that you'll let them know? You are the author of your own story. It's not what you've lived through, it's where your story goes, where your story ends. And it's laced within my transformational work. It's laced within the books that I'm writing, because there's a second one that I'm working on. And but it's what you do with your story. If you didn't like where you came from, rewrite it. Who told you had to stick with what you were given? Just rewrite your story. And it doesn't have to be tomorrow. It could be today. And I think that's the empowering message. Just own your story, and you decide, how it'll end, not what happened to you in your past. Like that.
Ooh,
my college football coach used to always tell us that he leave us with this quote. He'll say, "Things turn out best for people who make the best of the way things turn out."
Yeah.
Yes. So
yes.
And that's having that optimistic view on life. So when things are getting thrown at you, a lot of people say, this is the devil attacking me. Sometimes I look at it and say, this is God challenging you.
Yes.
At the same time, so I really like that. Thank you very much.
Erica.
Thank you for having me. This is
so excited.
Yes. So once again, it's going down. What's the date?
August 6th.
I need you to, in your announcer voice.
I don't have a powerful announcer announcer voice like you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and
Okay,
girls.
I'll try. On August 6th.
August 6th, baby. First Friday
6
art
to 9
walk.
here at the
6 to
Arts
9.
Warehouse. Thank you
Yes.
so much for coming on, Erica. We are so grateful for you and to share your story. And everyone come pick up a copy this Friday.
Or they can visit ericaobando.com, Erica with a K. And but I'd love to have you guys here instead and see you on Friday.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you very much.
And for those of you who are so excited about everything we're talking about here at the Arts Warehouse, there is openings in the Artist in Residency program, so you could live here with your work. Not all, like live, but spend all your time here working. So go on the Arts Warehouse website, which we will list below, so you can have your very own studio here too. And like always, there are a million things happening in Delray Beach, especially with the Chamber, and they are always a great opportunity to celebrate, learn, and grow. So the first is this Thursday. We talked about this a lot, and it definitely is one worth checking out. August 5th, 8 a.m., the 2021 Champions of Education Breakfast, celebrating excellence in Delray Beach schools. It's at the Aloft Hotel. And for more information, go to delrayeducation.com/events. Next up, we have Economic Development and Government Affairs Friday Forum. It is Friday, August 6th at 8 a.m. And it's an update from our community partners, the City of Delray Beach, the Delray Beach CRA, and the Delray Beach DDA. It is free. It is via Zoom, and you must pre-register at delraybeach.com/events. And last but certainly not least, we have contacts and cocktails. And this time it's going to be at the Silver Ball Museum. So it's a great opportunity to be able to hang out, network, and play some pinball. And it is next Thursday, Thursday the 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. And you must register. For members, it's 15 in advance, 20 at door. And for future members, 20 in advance and 30 at the door.
Let them know where we'll be next week.
Next week, we are going to be at Planet Fitness. I am trying to challenge my friend here to a squat lunge off, but guys, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he wants to do it.
See what happened? Oh my gosh, I have another announcement. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You guys sing with us at home. Sing with us in your car.
I have not done anything for my birthday in a very long time, so I am so grateful for all of you. Oh my gosh, thanks guys. Don't make me cry in front of everybody.
It's okay to cry. It's okay to
Thanks
cry.
guys. We got food, Jamel. Jamel, we always talk about food. What are you gonna? Which one are you picking?
It's your birthday.
You pick
have to
first.
choose. No, you choose which one you want me to
I
eat.
don't know that. Oh, 2 fat cookies, my favorite. Oh, and on
it's gonna be
Friday
3
we
fat
will be
cookies,
having
that's how
we'll be having 2 fat cookies on my birthday. Okay, I don't know, Jim. I don't know what's your favorite one.
I love oatmeal raisin.
That looks like this one. Okay, that's you, friend. I'm taking the one that's chocolate chip.
All right. Let's see how
Thank you. So thank you everyone for a wonderful show. We will see you next week at Planet Fitness.
Have a Delray day, baby.
Love it. Cheers! Everybody gets a cookie. Thank you,
You get a
guys.
cookie, and you get a cookie,
Who
and
wants
you get a
cookie?
Well, I called Lee.
Oh, hey Siri, call Lee.
Who called Lee? We called Lee. Oh, you called Lee.
Well, I called Lee.
I got Jen.
I called Lee too.
I called Lee, of course.
So yeah, I called Lee.
Injured in an accident or slip and fall? Call 1-800-CALL-LEE. You focus on getting better. We'll take care of the rest.
Everybody calls Lee at 1-800-CALL-LEE.
I know, Dad. You called Lee.